So we are broadcasting Sunday, 25th of October. We're broadcasting live from the East London branch, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, 466 Green Street. And today is Dashara. And we are remembering Lord Ramchandra, his conquering of Ravana, and we are also considering his divine Leela. This is very instructive. Ramchandra appeared in the Treta Yuga, and he has given much inspiration to the people on how to live a perfect life. He was a perfect example of a perfect ruler, a perfect brother, a perfect king, a perfect husband. Everything about his character was perfect. Perfect son, everything. And Ramchandra's glories, eternal glories, they are even today, Treta Yuga, we're talking millions of years ago when Ramchandra's lotus feet walked on this earth and the world was ruled in his name. But even now people talk about the Rajaram. If the world were ruled by such a benevolent divine personality as Ramchandra, then we wouldn't see all of the difficulties that we see in the world. Of course, this is Kali Yuga, so Kali Yuga is always full of difficulties. Kale dosha nide rajan. We know in Bhagavatam it says that this Kali age is an ocean of faults, but one good quality it has, that if one can perform Krishna Kirtan, then the highest Param Rajet, the highest destination, can be attained very easily. Now this is the great benefit of being born in Kali Yuga, actually. Excuse me. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Dev, he has advented himself in the world, and he is Krishna himself as his own devotee. With the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani, he is Krishna you can say Krishna in distribution mode. So Krishna, he is Rasaraj, Akilo Rasamrita Murti, the very embodiment of all kinds of rasa. And when he appears as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that same rasa he wants to distribute to everybody very easily and very widely. So he himself said, in every town and village my holy name will be sung. And I was just listening to Guru Maharaj this morning, and he's saying that this doesn't just mean on earth, but anywhere in this universe where people reside, they will get Krishna Prema through the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is a very wonderful thing, a very special grant for the Kali Yuga. So my question is, why is it that we're not Krishna conscious? Why is it that we're always searching for comfort and convenience? We, as devotees or aspiring devotees of the Lord, we have to come to understand that life isn't about pleasure. It isn't about sense pleasure. These are all transient, fleeting experiences that we've tried over and over and over again, and every time we're expecting to get something better, but we're not getting anything better. In fact, it's what they say, like diminishing reward. So something when you were in the prime of your life, something which gave you great satisfaction and great pleasure, is not only not giving that same satisfaction and pleasure when you're older, but it actually is more difficult to attain that same thing. So, and actually, it's not really very satisfying to begin with. The so-called pleasures of this material world is more or less, just a temporary relief from suffering. We consider that to be pleasure. The absence of suffering for a small time, we consider that to be pleasure. But it is not the positive side. It is only some, you can say, blocking out of the negative side for a short time. But it is not what we are meant for, and we are not meant to utilize our time for that. We are meant to utilize our time to serve the center. And that is actually the purpose of our existence. And once we're able to function in that role, then we become satisfied. We become content. And not just satisfied and content, but we start to experience some type of supramundane, ecstatic state that never diminishes, but is only ever increasing. So everyone is saying, well, okay, that's the theory, but in practice, where do we see that actually happening? Where do we see anybody actually in that state? So the answer to that is that you can't find that in this material world. Whoever has that, they're not in this material world. They're in the spiritual world. Although physically they may be in this material world. But those who have that, they cannot, others cannot understand it. Others cannot perceive it even. Because it is not some physical thing. It may manifest in a physical way sometimes. But we shouldn't be fooled by that. That it's not limited to that, and it's not, like some other experience that we've had in this material world. But we're reminded, our predicament is that we are, even once we have some knowledge, we may want to leave this material world, but the material world doesn't want to let us go. This is the actual fact, and we're reminded of this story we heard from the lotus mouth of Srila Govinda Maharaj. A humorous story. Where it's from, I don't know. From the scripture or where it's from, I don't know. But the story is of two sadhus walking in the winter, walking along the bank of the river. And suddenly one of the sadhus sees floating down the river a very nice blanket. And he says to his brother, "Oh, look, there's a very nice blanket. If I can just swim out and get that, once it's dried off, it'll keep us nice and warm, in the winter nights, it'll be very nice. I think I'm going to get it." Okay, the other one says, "Okay, go for it." So he dives in the water and he swims across. And when he gets to the blanket in the middle of the river and goes to grab the blanket, he suddenly realizes it's not a blanket at all, but it's a bear that's floating down the river. And the bear thinks that, oh, this person has come to rescue me. So the bear grabs hold of him and is, got him in a bear hug. So he's trapped with the bear, and maybe the bear will drown, maybe he's going to drown along with the bear. We don't know. But meanwhile, the other sadhu on the bank is saying, "Brother, leave it, come on, leave the blanket." And then the sadhu shouts back to him, "I'm trying to leave it, but the blanket won't let me go." So this is our predicament in this material world. We see so many things which we think will give us some type of shelter, some kind of comfort, some kind of convenience, and we're grabbing hold of those things. But those things are bearing down on us, literally and figuratively, and they're holding us. They won't let us go. So, although we may want to leave this material world behind, the material world is not going to release us so easily. So we're in the bear's clutches, although we thought it was something else. We thought it was something else. We thought it was something harmless, but actually it's something that'll take us to our death. So this is the unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in this material world. We're trying to leave. We're trying to move on from that. But our sanskar is keeping us, locked down to the material world. What can we do? But only, you see, there's nothing in this material world that can save us from that. Nothing at all. Only the holy name of Krishna will give us what we're seeking for. And Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev, as we heard from Gurudev, Guru Maharaj would say, Mahaprabhu is the Messiah of Sankirtan. He's not the Messiah of Japa. He's the Messiah of Sankirtan. And Sankirtan is what he came to give. Although we are initiated into the chanting of the Mahamantra with Japa, on Japa as a daily basis, that actually is that's supplementary to our actual religious creed, and our religious creed is Sankirtan. Saraswat Thakur said, we are initiated into the mantra Kirtaniya Shadahari. What is that? Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That may the Krishna Kirtan, the Krishna Sankirtan, may that be all glorious, all over the world. And that is our japa is to supplement that, is to prepare us for that, is to engage us for that, to make us clean for that. So we must try to chant the holy name of the Lord as a plea to the holy lotus feet of Krishna, to Mahaprabhu. Please engage me in the service of your divine self. And the name is non-different with Krishna. The name is Krishna himself. So Krishna Nam will give us everything if we are able to satisfy him. And the way to satisfy him is through the congregational chanting of the holy name and avoiding the 10 offenses to the holy name. And also avoiding the namabhas, and to move in it with a serving attitude, with a serving nature. Our nature is to serve. And in fact, it's impossible to avoid that. In any sphere of life, we are always a servant. Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he used to say that everybody has a necessity to serve. So they serve their boss, or they serve their family, or they serve their community, or they serve their country, or whatever it may be. And if they don't have anybody to serve, then they buy a cat or a dog and serve them. This is the nature of all living beings, is to serve. It's innate within us, so we cannot avoid that. So, as Bob Dylan once said, it may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. So, then we should try to serve the Lord. Not like, Satan's philosophy, as we heard in Milton's Paradise Lost. Better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. Guru Maharaj said, this is Satan's philosophy. But we are Vaishnava. The Vaishnavas are thinking just the opposite of that. Better to serve in heaven than to reign in hell. And even to serve in hell, if necessary. is better than to reign in hell. But to serve who? To serve the Lord or to serve the Satan? We are to serve the Lord, and to serve the Lord means to serve his devotees. So we must try to make some affectionate relationship with the devotees, and if they are merciful to us, they will accept our attempt to serve them. And we can serve in so many ways. We can serve the devotees in so many ways. According to our capacity, we can try to serve. And it is not necessary for us to be Hanuman. You know that Hanuman can fly with mountains in his hands. But we can not carry a mountain, but what we can carry, we can try to utilize that in Krishna's service. According to our individual capacity. Mother Teresa, she said, you know, everyone's heard of her, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, very saintly lady. Actually, Guru Maharaj was very like a fan of Mother Teresa. When we were with Guru Maharaj, he sent devotees to meet her in Calcutta to talk with her. Not myself, but he liked her very much. And what he liked about her most of all was her sacrificing nature. That she sacrificed her own comfort and convenience to serve others, and not just others, but to serve the most destitute. So she said, we may not be able to do many great things in our life, but we may be able to do many small things with great love. And I like that expression. It rings something to us, that whatever we do, we should try to do that with a loving feeling. And love actually means sacrifice for the beloved. That's the real meaning of love. That for the beloved, we will sacrifice ourselves. You know, what was it Lord Jesus said? No greater love hath a man than he who will lay down his life for his brother. So this is, you know, love. Guru Maharaj would say that love means sacrifice, and sacrifice is joy. So we are very averse to sacrificing anything in this material world. Ramanujacharya, he taught his devotees, his disciples, a lesson once. When they were bathing in the river, he swapped their underwear around while they were bathing. He moved it where they left it. He moved it to where his friend left his, and moved it. Then these were all like sannyasis. They were all, you know, Tridandi sannyasis of the Ramanuja Sampradaya, and he's showing his disciple teaching his disciple this lesson. So that he instructed him, replace their underwear, move it around. And then when they came out, after bathing, they came out and then they started fighting, quarreling. No, that's my underwear. No, that's my underwear. And what is that underwear? You know, just some strips of cloth. Then Ramanuja came out from his hiding place and he said, you see, you are showing that you are such big sadhus, renounced and everything, but you're attached just to a strip of cloth. You know, you cannot bear, oh, someone else has my strip of cloth. So this is the reality. It is not so easy to sacrifice for others. He showed that to his disciple. His name was Danudas. I think that was his name. Huh? He's like famous in Ramanuja Sampradaya. Danudas or Danurdas, I can't remember exactly. But anyway, and he was a householder and lived with his wife, and Ramanuja wanted to show how great he was. Then he told one brahmachari or two brahmacharis, go to Danudas's house in the night and steal his wife's jewelry when they're sleeping. So the brahmacharis were, okay, Gurudev, you know, whatever you say. So they went in the night, and they came, and the wife was asleep in the bed and lying on her side, and so they started taking all her jewelry, and then they saw that she had some very nice gold, wearing some very nice gold earrings, but she's sleeping. So then they came over, and the one that they could reach, they very gently took that one, and then she turned over. Turned over, and then they thought, oh, she's waking up, and so they quickly run away. Then they gave all of the plunder to Ramanuja, and Ramanuja said, so now let's go and see what is the fun, Dhanurdas's house. So they went to his house, and they watched from some hidden place. Dhanurdas came in and said to his wife, what was all that commotion, like there was all running and, bashing in the middle of the night. And he said, oh, 2 brahmacharis from the temple, they came, and they stole all my jewelry. And Dhanurdas said, so why did they run away? And he said, well, you see, they took one of my earrings, but I was lying on the other one, so I wanted them to have that one as well, so I turned over, and then they were afraid that I was waking up, so they ran away. Then Dhanurdas said, so why do you think they were like stealing your jewelry? And she said, I don't know, but they came from the temple, so maybe the temple's having some financial difficulties or something, and maybe if they sold my jewelry, they could, use the money for the service of the temple. So I wanted them to get all of it, like not miss one earring. Then Ramanuja showed the brahmacharis and the sannyasis there. You see, this is a real Vaishnava. That they are not wealthy people, but they are willing to sacrifice whatever they have for the sake of the temple. And never for a moment did his wife think, oh, these rascals coming from the temple. She thought, no, there must be some good reason why they're coming to do that in the middle of the night. Then I should try and help them. This is Vaishnavism, actually. We see. They see a real Vaishnava only sees the good in others, even if there is some bad intention or some imperfection. They don't see that. They only see the goodness in the Vaishnavas. They cannot see anything bad in the Vaishnava. In fact, we hear Gadadhar Pandit that his nature was, if anyone would say anything in criticism of any devotee, big devotee, small devotee, middle devotee, whatever they were, he would put his fingers in his ears and run away from that place. He wouldn't hear any criticism of the Vaishnavas. This is, Srila Govinda Maharaj would say, we hear everyone saying devotee, 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 but how much is someone a devotee? 5%, 10%, 50%, 99% or 100%? Can you tell? No one can tell. So then Gurudev said, so we should respect the Vaishnavas. Whatever our idea may be, or they're only 5%, or they're only 10%, or whatever it may be. We should try to give honor to the Vaishnavas and see that side of the Vaishnava, Vaishnavata, that is called Vaishnavata. So all devotees, they possess some Vaishnavata. Maybe they have some objectionable quality. Or maybe, some remnant of their past is still obvious in them. But we are not to see that. We are to try to see the Vaishnavata, what is inside the devotee. What is the potential of that devotee? Srila Guru Maharaj would say, everything is what it is plus its possibility. So then Guru Maharaj would say, so who can say what is the possibility of even a grain of sand within eternity? What is the possibility within there? Maybe whole universes can exist within a grain of sand. And what to speak of those who are trying their heart and soul to connect with Lord Krishna, to serve Lord Krishna. We will not find anyone in this material world perfectly doing that, because this is the faulty plane, and in the faulty plane we will always find some fault. There will always be some fault, and especially in Kali Yuga, which is an ocean of faults, then we will always find some fault. But we are not to try to see that, but rather try to see the Vaishnava side, those who have come to worship Krishna. I can say one thing that came to me once was one devotee. He's actually the son of a devotee. And one time his family were visiting the temple, and so he never comes to the temple, like rarely comes to the temple, if at all. But this day, because his family were coming, he came actually to meet them, really. Yeah, that was the only reason. They could have been, they could have been meeting anywhere, but he's come because they're coming there today. So he came in, and when I saw him, some bad feeling came in my mind, Oh, for so long he's not come here, and now because his mother and, some other devoted family members have come, he's come to meet them. And I felt some, like intolerance or annoyance. Oh, why he's come? Just for that, for some mundane socializing, But when he came, he's born in Vaishnava family and everything, and when he came in the temple and he bowed down before Radha Shyam Sundar, made his, Dandavat Pranam, and my feeling changed. Immediately I actually felt ashamed of myself. And I thought, oh, how many people in the world are there that will actually make their obeisance before Lord Krishna? How few people in the world will even do that. They may not understand fully what that means or anything, but that anyone will bow down before Lord Krishna, then they are worshipable to us, actually. Just that they'll bow down before the Lord, that makes them worshipable to us. It's very easy to see the faults of others. But Guru Maharaj would say, be sure that the faults you see in others will come on you. Those same faults that you mark in others, that you find objectionable in the character or nature of others, be sure those faults will come to you. Because you want to examine those. And, there's some type of a rasa that we get, some type of taste that we get from dredging up someone's bad qualities and, squeezing it and, trying to get some juice out of that. And maybe with our friends we can talk about that, and something will come in us, give some pleasure to us. As they say that, right? If you cut off somebody else's head, it makes you look taller. But what does that result in? Nothing good, I can tell you. So, then we should not do that. As Srila Guru Maharaj would say, don't be a drain inspector. When you come to see the Vaishnava. And once Guru Maharaj is asking us, when ant is running on Guru Maharaj's leg on his dhoti, and he's saying, what is the difference between the Vaishnava and this ant? And, devotees were giving their different idea of what the difference is. And finally Guru Maharaj said, the difference is this ant is much closer to me than any of the Vaishnavas here. But the ant is looking for some way for his own purpose. Some way of utilizing where he is for his own purpose, to exploit that. Whereas the Vaishnava is looking how to serve the Guru and to serve the Vaishnava. This is the difference. It's not about, physical proximity. The bug in the bed may also be physically closer to the Guru than the disciple, but that bed bug is only looking to bite the flesh of the Guru, with no consciousness of whom he is in association with. So it can never be a physical thing. It is always something heart to heart, That connection is heart to heart. And when the Vaishnavas maintain the proper honor and respect for one another, then that heart-to-heart relationship becomes strong and grows. And we find that even though there may be thousands of miles physical distance, and maybe even many years distance between, when we last saw that devotee and were able to connect with that devotee, we find that is no bar to our association with them. And Srila Gurudev also said, if you can think of a Vaishnava with the proper heart, with the proper mood, you can immediately be in their association, even if they're not living in the world anymore, manifest in the world anymore. Gurudev may be gone from this world, but as Srila Govinda Maharaj would say about Guru Maharaj, he did not leave, he disappeared. In other words, he's still with us, but only that we cannot see him now physically with the physical eye and all of these things. But we never think that our Guru is gone. Our Guru is with us. And if we have the proper mood of service and the proper attitude and the proper meditation, we can connect with those Vaishnavas, whoever they may be, wherever they may be. If we are able to make ourselves a fit receiver. So we should try. Srila Guru Maharaj, quoting Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he would say, my Guru Maharaj would say, first deserve, then desire. So we may desire so many, spiritual attainments, but first of all, we should deserve that, make ourselves deserving of that. So that's what sadhana is actually. Sadhana means to make yourself fit to receive the grace of the higher, to invoke the grace of the higher. And that may seem like a great task, but actually is only about affection. If we're able to get some affectionate relationship with a Vaishnava, then everything is settled already. Everything is already successful. There's only that, just to try to have some affectionate grace of a Vaishnava. And the Vaishnavas are very merciful to us. When I was younger, I was very misbehaved in so many ways. When I lived in the temple and so many things, I was always very badly behaved. Tiny Prabhu knows. He was living with me, and he knew what kind of person I was. And often arguing and fighting with other devotees. And one time when I had almost a physical fight with the temple president on one festival day, Janmashtami, or I don't know what day it was, but some festival day. I was cooking and the offering was late, and the temple president came in very angry. Why is the offering late? He told me, and shouting at me and telling me off, and being a hot-headed young man instead of being humble and accepting. When I was making some dough for the offering, for making puri or something, and when he turned his back on me, I picked up the dough and I smashed it down on his head, and told him, "You do it, then you do it," and I, fled the temple in an angry mood. Anyway, then I left the temple, and I was living nearby in a little flat nearby. And later that day, I got a letter posted through the letterbox. Your service is no longer required at the temple anymore. All right. But somehow or another, and I never found out about this until years later, I mean, I did know, like a few days later, I got a call from that same devotee who was the president of the temple at the time. He called me and he said, Prabhu, please come back and take up your service again. Okay. And the reason he told me to do that was because he got a telegram from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj, in the telegram, said, I gave Devashis Prabhu this service, I'll take it away from him, not you. If anyone tells that service is not required, it will be me, not you. Then he can't argue with that, right? So, it was like, there was no internet in those days, no email or anything like that. So, like, how did Guru Maharaj come to know about that? I don't know. And even today, I don't know. But I heard years later, Srila Govinda Maharaj told me himself that the message came to Guru Maharaj that Devashis got in a fight with the temple president, boshed him on the head with the chapati dough, and why did Guru Maharaj send that telegram? And the reason was that Govinda Maharaj was there, and when Guru Maharaj heard this news, Govinda Maharaj just simply said to him, "Oh, but Devashis is a very nice boy. He's a very nice boy." So then Guru Maharaj sent telegram, told him, give him his service back. So, saved by the affection of the Vaishnava, Govinda Maharaj, I didn't have any intimate relationship with Govinda Maharaj or anything, but whenever I'd been in Navadvip, he'd always been very gracious to me and very, as he was to everybody, He was to everyone. No, he didn't single me out for that. But, just a few times we'd spoken together and, we took prasadam together. And, once we met almost by accident in Calcutta. I was, as all young men are in those days, when they're young and they go to India for the first time, they want to get their horoscope done, isn't it? They want to get some astrologer to tell them what's in store for them, So one devotee had told me, you need 3 horoscopes, because every astrologer will have a different view on that. But if you have 3, you can take all the common points, and then you'll have some good foundation. So I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So I'd seen 2, and then somebody told me this one astrologer in Calcutta. In Calcutta there was, I don't know what it's like now, but in those days, all the jewelry shops, they were all in the same area, and this one jeweler's it was called P.C. Chandra, the jeweler, and most of the jewelers, they have an in-house astrologer who will recommend, they want to sell you gems, to help you out. Yeah, so this somebody, I don't remember who, but somebody recommended the astrologer at P.C. Chandra's, that he was very good. So I made an appointment and went there one day in Calcutta, and just as I was going in, Govinda Maharaj was coming out. And Govinda Maharaj used to consult with him about, because Govinda Maharaj, as you may know, was a Jyotish. He was a very qualified astrologer himself. And sometimes Guru Maharaj would ask him about, particular dates for doing things and, various things. So this was I didn't know, but this was the astrologer that he would consult with. And so I'm going in and he's just coming out. And this was outside of the temple, this was our first time that we'd met. I'd always been in the context of the temple. So anyway, he's coming out, I'm going in, and we just stopped and we had some small discussion, small thing, but he was very, very gracious, jovial, jolly, and just the Vaishnavata within him just kind of spilled out all over the place, And even before I consulted with the astrologer, I felt like, oh, this is really auspicious because I met this Vaishnava here at the place. Then I went in, I had my appointment with the astrologer who tried to sell me some gems, and, which is his job, of course. But I didn't buy any at that time. But I got my 3 horoscopes together and came up with what I thought was the common points, But anyhow, just a few times I'd met Srila Govinda Maharaj in or out of the temple, and in those days he was white. He wore white, and he hadn't taken sannyas or anything at that time. Then we saw that he's always with Guru Maharaj, isn't it? And that Guru Maharaj wouldn't make any decision about anything unless he was there to consult with. And we'd see like so many big sadhu sannyasis coming to see Guru Maharaj from ISKCON or from Gaudiya Math or from everything. They're coming to see Guru Maharaj, and they're all sitting there, sometimes with dandas, but like all these big personalities. And Guru Maharaj giving his counsel to them. And just to the side, there's Govinda Maharaj, and he's reading the newspaper, or almost not even involved with it would appear, And I always thought, who is he? Who is he? And why do they call him Maharaj? He's wearing white and everything. I don't understand. But then, gradually we got to understand who is Govinda Maharaj, and we heard some things, few things. We heard Srila Guru Maharaj saying, because Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj asked Guru Maharaj, why is he Govinda Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj said, because his service never leaves the Nirguna plane. And when you hear something like that from Guru Maharaj never flattered anybody, and never, what you can bet your life and more that what Guru Maharaj, whatever he says, that's the truth. That's the truth, the absolute truth. So that's one thing I heard, my own ear, from the mouth of Guru Maharaj. And another was, I heard him tell, Govinda Maharaj is a natural Paramahansa. And, so many things we heard. And he is more qualified than I am. After he gave Govinda Maharaj sannyas and made him a Acharya of the Mott, while Guru Maharaj is still present, he told us he is more qualified for this chair than I am myself. And, although we didn't know him so well, we saw that, over the years, we saw that was true, that he could manage the whole worldwide mission by himself. He didn't need anyone else. He could manage everybody. And whatever he said, everybody accepted. And whatever he said was always perfect. Whatever solution he came up with, even if it didn't seem to be, the natural resolution to a problem or whatever, we always found that was actually the truth, and that his idea was the best idea.
Is it true, Prabhu? I heard, if I'm not mistaken, usually the disciple gives the initiation, gives on behalf of his guru. Did you or someone told me that Srila Maharaj gave initiation in the name
Of Govinda Maharaj? Yeah.
What's that story?
Actually, we can tell you, right, that we can say that Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, from the day that he established Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, that was in 1943, was it? I think it was.
43.
Yeah. So that from the day that Guru Maharaj established it, Chaitanya Saraswat Math, he was looking, who will succeed me? After I'm gone, who will be my successor? And in 1947, Srila Govinda Maharaj came to Guru Maharaj. Within 1 week of their meeting, Srila Sridhar Maharaj decided and publicly told everybody, the people that he trusted, he will be my successor. And had them all examine him. Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, he asked him, examine this boy, tell me. And all of his senior godbrothers, he would say. Even his sister, Ramarani, did he. If you've ever seen a photo of her, she's like, if Guru Maharaj were a woman, that's who she would be. Who he would be. She looks so much like Guru Maharaj, and she's very exalted lady. And although she's Guru Maharaj's sister, she was also Guru Maharaj's disciple. And although she's Guru Maharaj's sister, she would never enter into Guru Maharaj's room. She would only stand at the threshold. And within a few days of Govinda Maharaj arriving, she said, Guru Maharaj asked her, what do you think about this boy and what will be his future? And she said, I do not know what will be his future, but I can say that he's looking very nice to me. And so...
I'm thinking that Guru Maharaj knew that he was coming.
Yeah, I think so. There's some, very mystical relationship between them. Actually, their relationship was more than guru and disciple, if that's possible. It was more than that. Anyway, there's some things that I was going to say, but I think it's too much, But we witnessed in Guru Maharaj's final days how much faith and affection he had for Srila Govinda Maharaj. But what you are asking, right? So Guru Maharaj very deliberately made Srila Govinda Maharaj his successor to the exclusion of all others of his disciples. He had other disciples who were qualified men. Even Govinda Maharaj wasn't his senior disciples. Krishna Sharan, who later became Bhakti Prasanna Aranya Maharaj, he was senior to Srila Govinda Maharaj. But Guru Maharaj knew, right, that the law in India at that time, whether it's still the same, I don't know, but at that time, if a sannyasi, a guru who is a sannyasi, has a disciple and gives sannyas to that disciple inherits everything after he passes away. So that means whatever property he has, anything, will go to that sannyasi disciple. And Guru Maharaj, knowing that, when Guru Maharaj studied law, that was more or less, you can say, before he came to Saraswati Thakur, he was a lawyer. He was a lawyer for Mahatma Gandhi. And anyhow, so he knows the law, and that the law says like that. So deliberately, although there were others of his direct disciples who were qualified and asked Guru Maharaj for sannyas, he would not give them sannyas. The only Indian disciple, direct disciple that he gave sannyas to was Govinda Maharaj, because he didn't want there to be any ambiguity or anything that was unclear about who will be his successor. Of course, Srila Govinda Maharaj jokes and he says, once Guru Maharaj announced that was when my fighting life began. That all of the devotees in the temple who were my friends, now they became my enemies. But anyhow, so also in Indian law, if something is established for 3 years, after 3 years it's irrevocable. So that's why Srila Guru Maharaj wanted to give Govinda Maharaj the chair 3 years before his passing. And finally he told Govinda Maharaj, because when he asked Govinda Maharaj to take the chair, he made it clear he wanted Govinda Maharaj to do that, but Govinda Maharaj was very reluctant to do that. And he would say, no Maharaj, give it to someone else, I'll serve them. It's fine, I don't mind. But don't, not me. Give it to somebody else, And you can say that was one of his main qualification was that he had no ambition for that. But anyhow, so Guru Maharaj gave him sannyas. It's coming up shortly. It's actually on the 8th of November this year. Bahulastami, that day, which is the day when Mahaprabhu revealed Radha Kund to the world. that day is the day before Srila Sridhar Maharaj's appearance day, and that was the day that he was given sannyas by Guru Maharaj. So then Guru Maharaj, at that time, he said, so now I'm not giving initiation anymore. I'm not giving. Govinda Maharaj will give initiation. He'll give Harinam. He'll give Diksha. He'll give sannyas, everything, and I'm retired from that. And Guru Maharaj went, became more, you can say, introspect, went more into his own internal bhajan and so on for those last few years. And Govinda Maharaj was in the front. But what you're saying is a fact. You see, Srila Sridhar Maharaj himself, he had Ritviks, That means, Ritvik means a priest who acts on his behalf. So, like a proxy, you can say. So, around the world, he had many that were doing that for him. Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj, Bhaktiananda Sagar Maharaj, and many others who would in their locality or where they were traveling, they were authorized by Srila Sridhar Maharaj to make disciples in the name of Guru Maharaj. But as soon as Govinda Maharaj was given the chair of Guru Maharaj, they all stopped that function. And also Guru Maharaj, he not only were they Ritviks, but they were also authorized to make disciples in their own name. In fact, I remember Guru Maharaj telling Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj, you're the man on the scene there in America. You give initiation, make them as your disciples, and any special person you can bring to me. But in general, you will do. And that was like a kind of a general rule. But as soon as Govinda Maharaj was given the chair, it was Guru Maharaj's desire, and more or less you can say intuitively, all those that had previously performed that function of Ritvik for Guru Maharaj, they stopped that. And not only they stopped that, they stopped accepting disciples in their name also, and brought everyone to Govinda Maharaj after that. So anyway, one day, Srila Govinda Maharaj, he's also like running the whole mott and the mission, so one day when two devotees came, and I think, if I remember rightly, they were from Hawaii, and they'd come there, a man and his wife, and Guru Maharaj wasn't really speaking much or anything. Now and again he would, if Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj or others were there, then Guru Maharaj would talk and they would record that. But generally, Guru Maharaj much more kind of within his own zone, you can say. But anyway, these devotees had come and they wanted initiation. And Guru Maharaj had told, well, I'm not doing that. When Govinda Maharaj comes, he'll give you. So, okay, then they're waiting. But Govinda Maharaj didn't come. He'll come tomorrow. He didn't come tomorrow. Then tomorrow, he must come tomorrow, but didn't come. And then the days were going, and then finally, Guru Maharaj's secretary at that time, Badrinayan Prabhu, he told Guru Maharaj, look, tomorrow Maharaj, they have to leave. They're flying back to their home. And this was like a once in a lifetime journey for them. They had to save so much, and maybe they'll never be able to come again to India, and they really want to get Harinam, and Guru Maharaj saying, no, when Govinda Maharaj comes, he'll give. I'm not doing that anymore. Then finally, when Bhadranayan Prabhu told Guru Maharaj, no, then tomorrow they have to leave. They just can't stay any longer. Then Guru Maharaj told Bhadranayan Prabhu, yes, all right, then tell them 8 o'clock they can come to my room and be ready everything for Harinam. I will give. So then they're coming and sitting before Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj chanting the beads, doing everything to give to them. And then I don't remember if it was the husband or wife first, but whoever it was, they came, to receive the beads from Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj, then as he's giving the beads, he said, I am giving on behalf, as Ritvik, on behalf of Govinda Maharaj. So this is like unheard of, that the Guru will give the mala, the initiation, on behalf of his disciple. It's like unprecedented. But Guru Maharaj was very clear to them. I'm not giving making you as my disciple. I'm making you as Govinda Maharaj, as I am acting as his Ritvik. You are his disciples, and that was very clearly said. So that not only is that like unprecedented, it is extraordinary, an extraordinary thing. You know, that so much faith Guru Maharaj had that in Srila Govinda Maharaj, that really he was like adamant. No, this is as Ritvik of Govinda Maharaj.
In that funny sort of way, it's almost the same for all of us.
Yeah, it is in fact. You know, actually, every guru gives the disciple initiation on behalf of their guru. Otherwise, it's not a proper transaction. No genuine guru thinks I'm making disciples for myself. They never think that. If they do, then they're disqualified, immediately disqualified. They are thinking, on behalf of my Guru Maharaj, I'm giving this mantra to you. And what we heard Guru Maharaj say that. My Guru Maharaj told, give this mantra to the sincere seekers. And I am considering you a sincere seeker, I'm giving to you. And the very same words Srila Govinda Maharaj would always tell to his disciples. And now the acharyas, they're also telling that when they give initiation. My Guru Maharaj told me to give this mantra to those I consider as being sincere. I consider you to be sincere. I'm giving this mantra to you on his behalf. This is Guru Parampara. It's not that someone's thinking, you know, they're mine, my disciples. They may say, my students or my disciples, in as much as I'm responsible for them. But they're never in a possessive way. They're not thinking they're my possession. Or, you know, it's not like thinking my wife or, you know, or my son or, you know. They're not thinking like that. It's not that kind of provincial idea. It is a completely spiritual transaction. You know that they have that expression, what is it? Satapatanai. You know that? 100 leaves, that the needle can go through 100 leaves, all immediately. It's like there's no, we can say the first leaf and the 100th leaf. There's some gap between going through the first one and the 100th leaf, but it's so small that it means nothing. So in the same way, Guru Parampara means the Guru gives connection. Immediately that person is connected with Lord Krishna, connected at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. That's the process. It's not a process of, you know, of gaining followers or, you know, like head counting or something. It's nothing like to do with that. It's the imparting of Dibya Gyan from Krishna to the bound jiva. It is the connection for eternal life. And the greatest fortune of the soul to receive such a connection. But it is, although it is coming from the Guru, it is coming directly from Krishna. Krishna is the beneficiary and the functionary of that. Guru Maharaj said, if it is done in the proper way, at that time, Krishna considers that person to be as good as himself. So this is, you know, is not a mundane transaction. And it is not a question of my Guru and your Guru or anything of the kind. It is Guru Parampara. Parampara means one after another. Then it just means a disciplic succession, but it is a current. It is a current coming directly from Krishna. That current, you know, like if you plug your device into the wall, if the current's there, your mobile phone, you'll see that it's charging. But if there's no current there, you can leave it there forever, nothing's going to happen. So that's what it means. Initiation means that you've connected with the current, and that current, that flow of divine grace is coming directly from Krishna to the disciple, and the guru is the transparent via medium for that. The guru never claims to be, like even an intermediary. The guru never sees himself as that. This is Krishna. It is Dibya Gyan. It is the divine current, the Dara, that is coming from Krishna to the disciple, and the guru is considering himself merely instrumental on behalf of his guru, and his guru thinking on behalf of my guru, and his guru thinking on behalf of, and so on, until it comes directly to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So this is Lord Krishna, that transaction between the guru and disciple. Actually, Guru Maharaj says, where Krishna wants to extend himself to us, and where the jiva wants to reach Krishna, where the two meet, that is guru. That's the function of guru. The meaning of guru means where Krishna meets the jiva. That's guru. So then if we think that, if we only identify that with a particular person, particular body, a particular, mannerism, a particular voice, or whatever it may be, we've missed the point. And it's a very subtle point. Because everything about the guru is also worshipable to us. Guru Maharaj said his shoe, his cane, his cloth, everything, that's worshipable to us. But we don't think that that's independent of Krishna. That's connected with Krishna. And guru, in that sense, guru is Krishna. But not in an anthropomorphic sense. That some jiva soul gets promoted to be another Krishna or something like that. It's not that. It's a very subtle thing. The relationship between guru and disciple is a very subtle thing, and very difficult to understand with the intellect. Saraswat Thakur said, anyone who's had a Western education will not be able to very easily accept the idea of guru and disciple. Because the Western education teaches us to be independent thinkers, and to stand on our own 2 feet, and never to bend the knee to anybody. So, the idea that somebody will have complete control over everything in your life, every aspect of your life, is a very difficult thing for any educated person to accept. But that is the tradition, not just the tradition, it is spiritual culture. And spiritual culture must be allowed to grow and to take precedence over our material culture. So Guru Maharaj said, there are 4 tattvas. Tattva means truth. 4 truths, spiritual truths that are not possible to fully comprehend by the intellect. And that is Nam Tattva, how the holy name of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. Nam Tattva. Dham Tattva, how the holy Dham is non-different from the original. Like when you go to Navadvip or Vrindavan, Vrindavan is a place in Uttar Pradesh. But when you go there, it's non-different from Vrindavan in the spiritual sky. Intellectually, it's not possible to understand that. In fact, if you go there, we are recommended by our gurus not to stay very long in Vrindavan, because you start to see it in a mundane way. Why does it stink here, Why is everybody trying to cheat me here? Why, you start seeing all of these things rather than the spiritual aspect of it. So that Nam Tattva, Dham Tattva, Shiva Tattva, how Shiva is non-different to Vishnu, and how Shiva exists simultaneously within the spiritual Vaikuntha Dham and within this material world as Rudra, the destroyer. That also is not comprehensible, fully comprehensible by the intellect. And the fourth one is Guru Tattva. How Guru is Krishna, and how, that as Guru Maharaj would say, the inspired side of a Vaishnava. That is Krishna himself. Acharya mam bijanaya nabamanye takahi chit. Then by your intellect you won't be able to fully comprehend that. So then we have to rely on our faith. We have to rely on our faith and divine grace and revelation. We are believers in revelation. That the divine reveals himself to the jiva soul according to his own will, according to the will of the Lord. He reveals himself to one and may not reveal himself to another. That is, you can say, all rights reserved by him. So, this subject matter we can discuss and discuss and discuss, but ultimately it is a relationship of the heart. And when we talk about the heart, we don't mean the organ that pumps blood around the body, but we mean the very essence. When you say get to the heart of the matter, it means the very essence of what something is. So the very essence of who we are. The soul can have a relationship with Krishna. The soul can rise above this mortal world. The soul can become awakened even within this body. It can become fully awakened and activated, although now it is sleeping. It is nothing to do with any phenomenon of this material world in any way, shape or form. Nothing to do with that. And everything to do with the transcendental world. The transcendental world can be revealed to us by the will of the Lord. And that the via medium by which that is revealed, that is Sri Guru. And Sri Guru may come in many guises, you can say, to grace us. We should just try to be attentive to that. Try to see where that current is flowing. So we can stop today, and now we can do arti. Unless anyone else has some question, we can stop for today.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
I'm sure people have asked this many times, and do you think Jesus Christ was following Krishna, or he just was a bit vague?
Whether I don't know is the answer to that. I don't know. You mean to say, was he aware that God is Krishna and all of that? Is that what you're asking?
Because I know he's kind of like the guru principle, like Krishna.
Yeah. What we can say is that what he revealed to the world, that is through the current of divinity. But we don't say that he's forever cast in that mold. He's also progressive.
Yeah.
Then his spiritual life is also dynamic. So it's not that he's only fixed in that mold as, the saviors of the Hebrews, or the Jewish religion, or whatever, what you may have to look at him. But whether like secretly he was praying to Krishna and teaching his disciples about Krishna, I think that's unlikely. Directly that he had that consciousness of Krishna. But no doubt he was inspired by the divine, and what he taught was path to divinity.